Welcome to a new episode of Nice and Sunny, the podcast. Hi guys, welcome from Thailand. I am currently here for 1 month. I'm basically 3 weeks in. There's not too much time left here. And I've been living and staying in a co-working and co-living hub. It's the very first time I've done something like that. And it has been really interesting because I'm way more productive than I've ever been anywhere else, I feel. And I don't know, I can't really put my finger on why exactly that is, but every day I wake up, I want to go and do my stuff. It also obviously is because I just started my own business, started my own thing, started doing what I want to do. So obviously I'm more driven, but then once I get there, it's usually you put your head down and you're just working and getting things done and producing and creating. It is quite inspiring, I have to say. The thing is, now in all this time, I haven't even been to the beach yet. Just to go and have a look, but I haven't actually hung out on the beach and gone swimming and all that, which makes me a little sad. But there's some reasons for it. I'm probably going to talk about that in a different podcast episode. But the topic for today is a different one. Before I get to that, though, just a very quick setting the scene. So I'm currently in the apartments that belongs to this co-working space called Co-Hub. It's about 10 minutes away by foot to the actual office building, basically, so the co-working space. The apartments are new, but it is Thai standard, so it's all a little how do you say it? Basically, a lot of the things aren't just done straight and right, so it's for example, I look right now at the door that you enter this little apartment room with, and there's a massive gap between the door and the frame where all the mosquitoes happily come through when I have the lights on in here. And there's other things, but it's I don't want to go too much into detail. It's, I guess, for the price it's fine, but it is still something that can be improved. The thing is, all in all together, I paid $800 for a month, having this space to live and having the co-working space with high-speed internet, and it includes 2 meals a day, which are completely sufficient to nurture myself for the whole day. So basically, you just need a bit of water and some snacks for the room, and that's it. So it's a cheap place, a cheap way of staying here and being productive and getting stuff done. So definitely recommendable. There are obviously ways to improve everything, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm sitting on my bed right now with my laptop, and I'm simply recording this with my iPhone headphones right now. I still have the curtains drawn. It's 11:30, but I felt like this is a good kind of podcast vibe, and not to have it too bright, and talk to you from my bed where I just got up, did my meditation, and then after I finish recording this, I will go to the co-working space and edit this. And this afternoon we're going to have a live stream. Yes, so all this stuff is happening. I will just quickly, because I don't have a sponsor, if anybody's interested in sponsoring this podcast, please feel free to get in touch. Contact us as always, contact@niceandsunny.com. Also, my new business is a content creation business and a business consultancy business. The main thing I'm doing right now is editing videos, editing podcasts, doing social media marketing, social media management. So if there's anything like that you would like me to do, please also get in touch, contact@niceandsunny.com. Okay, let's get to the topic of today, which is digital declutter. I did do a podcast episode in the beginning about minimalism and how to become a minimalist and how to maintain that kind of lifestyle. And I only really covered physical items, right? So getting rid of a lot of physical things and reducing yourself to only what is necessary, and only that doesn't take up too much space in your head and in your mind and in your heart. It makes a lot of sense to be lighter there and more free. What I didn't do, but I announced that one day I will do it, is talk about digital declutter. And although I still haven't completed this this process. So I guess we could probably call this digital declutter episode 1, or maybe not episode. Let's say we can call this digital declutter A. Because once I'm done with everything and I feel like I've reached a point of near to perfection when it comes to digital minimalism, I will record another podcast episode around that. But I wanted to let you know what I'm doing right now, the processes that I'm going through, why some things became a little more urgent than others. So I think this is a good topic, and I'm again super interested to know what you guys have done, because I think a lot of people have this problem because digital data, digital stuff usually isn't visible, right? So most of the time it's somewhere tucked away in some folder on the computer or on the hard drive, or even on the cloud somewhere. So why bother, right? But it's the similar kind of thing of having like things in the attic, right? You have like the boxes with stuff, and you know they're there, but you're not actually, doing anything with it, and they're not in your face all the time. But because they are still there, they're still occupying some space in your brain. And that's a similar thing with digital data and digital stuff, because we've always thought about, oh, do I still have that video that I recorded like 10 years ago on my phone where that and that happened, or the old Super 8 material that one day you had digitized and is now again somewhere on a file in some weird format that only VLC player can play, and you don't even know what's on it anymore. So there's all this stuff, and it is somewhere in your brain that you have it, and it's taking up space in your brain. So what happened with me was, over all those years, just all the above that I just mentioned, all like added up. Like I had video production stuff, again, Super 8 recordings that we digitized of me as a baby, and it went on with just very simple camera recordings in my childhood, in my youth. Then I became a video producer, so I started doing stuff there. Then the first professional videos that came up, and alongside all this stuff, photos, right? So just documenting everything, the odd selfie in between, the rock bands that I met, the friends that I made, all these pictures. And now just the recent, I would say, let's say the last like 5 to 10 years, with a massive amount of traveling and experiences, and all this stuff is out there. And all this doesn't even count programs that you have, zip files of documents. Again, documents. Yeah, you might have a lot of important files, like just photographed off and have them saved in some way or another. There's so much stuff that is just piling up over the years, and yes, the older you get, the more it is. And even us that have lived a big chunk of our lives without the internet and without computers, still, because at some point you usually are going to digitize some of it, and you have it in digital format, so it's all just piling up. And yeah, the dreaded pictures of ex-boyfriends and stuff like that, it's like, do you really need those? So point being, I reached a point that I had got everything that I still have on a digital hard drive, so a hard drive that travels with me. And for a while I was thinking to actually get rid of it as part of a physical item I want to get rid of. So I wanted to get everything uploaded to Google Drive and just manage all my files and data there. And once it's all tidy, I can still go and get a hard drive and just save it all and secure it all in some place. But I realized at some point that I actually need to keep the hard drive, the external hard drive anyway, because my Mac likes to do the time machine updates on that. So I'm keeping it, but that meant that I just pushed away the task of uploading everything to Google Drive to tidy it up. But the time is now, and that's why I felt like I would like to talk to you about this. And also a few other things happened that are interesting when it comes to this. So because I'm in this co-working space with like really high speed internet, which happens rarely, even if I'm at home in Germany or in a hotel, I will not have the chance to have this fast internet anytime soon. So I made it a big task here every day to just upload stuff, like tons and tons of stuff. So I have a lot of people think it's like expensive to hold all that on Google Drive, but I'm paying for 2 terabyte. I'm paying $9 or $10 a month. And I'm absolutely happy to pay that and have it all there. And I'm not even going to have half of that filled with all my stuff. So it's a pretty good deal, and it's a pretty good way to get all the stuff up there. The good thing is, once it's up there, so obviously you need fast internet to get all that data uploaded. And I assume in my case, it's probably going to be around 1 terabyte or 800 gig or something. Once it's up there, you can just shuffle it around and organize it on Google Drive. So you don't need fast internet anymore. You need internet, but you don't need fast internet. So whenever you find fast internet, just make sure to upload chunks of that data. Because again, for example, here in the apartments, the internet isn't that good. I mean, I could have something run overnight and it'd probably do something, but it's still quite frustrating how slow that can be. So here's the first advice. Make it an intention to upload the stuff to Google Drive, or obviously you can take whatever file sharing tool you would like to use, but make it an intention, have the files ready to go that you want to upload, and every time you find fast internet, just upload a folder or two just to make sure something gets uploaded. And you can at that point already start organizing things. Or you can wait until you have everything uploaded, because the thing is, it could be a hurdle for you to do that task of uploading if you know that you then have to tidy it up right away. And obviously in all this kind of stuff, you want to remove hurdles as much as possible. So the best is to just get it uploaded. Very simple task, get it uploaded. You feel like you're doing something. You're actually not, but you feel like you're doing something because you're uploading. Once it's uploaded and on your file sharing platform, make sure to delete the original file or move it to a uploaded folder if you want to go like really safe there, just so you know what your progress is. So everything that you uploaded to Google Drive, move it to a different folder, so that in the end nothing is going to be left outside of that folder. That would be optimal. And then once everything is uploaded, then you can go and tidy up and really go into the detail of, do I really want to keep this? Do I want to keep that? But main thing is, once you start uploading it, don't make it a hurdle and make it a plan to actually tidy it up right away, because that can just stop you from actually doing it. So in the way that, so I haven't uploaded everything, so I haven't reached that stage yet, but the way I will do it, and I know I've done this kind of stuff in the past, is I will just have a very simple classification, and I go images, videos, documents. That's it. So it's a very simple way for me to start organizing things in there. So you can, and again, you can just start doing, because that's a brainless thing as well. Every image that you have goes into the image folder, right? Every video you find goes into the video folder. And obviously there might be moments when it gets a bit confusing, like what if you have a GIF, and then is that a video, is that a picture, all these kind of things, or if you have a picture of a document, is that a picture or is it a document, and so on and so forth. But it doesn't matter, like whatever you're not sure with, just keep it outside, or make actually a folder saying still to be organized or something like that, or not yet organized. So that way you feel like you're making progress all the time. And then every day, it's about making it a habit to actually go in and spend a little bit of time to tidy up some of the folders, some of the data in there. And you can give this a time limit, for example. So it's almost like you can use CrossFit workouts as an example and go like, okay, either you make it a time limit and say in 15 minutes, organize as much data as possible. And then just go hard for 15 minutes, put some music on maybe, and for 15 minutes just go hard at organizing some of the data, shuffling some images around, deleting what you really don't want to keep, and then go for that. Or you just go, okay, listen, I'm not going to put a time limit on it. I'm going to take this folder of my holiday in Greece and I'm going to tidy this up. And that could mean actually going in, deleting items, but it could also mean maybe you have found a system of naming files that will make it easier for you in the future to find them. So if you just call them Greece 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on, it might not help you if one day you want to find that picture of you and your friend in Athens on the Acropolis, right? So think about maybe how you want to name those files so that you can later find them if you want to. But this could be a whole different step altogether, to be honest. So yeah, and those are basically the ways that you can then go about. This is something I have planned for me, and this is I'm actually looking forward to doing that, because I already saw some videos, for example, that I can't wait to look at and go through, and maybe even take some extracts out and do something with it. And that is actually the next kind of tip to keep you motivated. Because what will happen is probably once you go through all this stuff, and that's another thing that is a hurdle, because once you see all the images and videos, you will get motivated to do something with it. You know, like, do I want to sit down with my family and look at some photos on the computer or on TV even, and reminisce about the past, or that holiday, or that memory. Or is there video material that you always wanted to edit and do something with it? Or do you have really cool videos already that you just want to put on YouTube and stuff like that? Make sure to have a piece of paper next to you to take some notes. You know, obviously you don't have to do it physically. You can use Evernote or stuff like that. But just have some device to take notes, because it makes sense to straight away write down all the things that going through all this data that has accumulated over the years, and note down what this can be, what this can incentivize or inspire you to do with it. So it makes sense to actually write it down, and make sure to write it down in detail so that you won't forget. And again, I know this feeling. And you look at the stuff and say, oh, I always wanted to do something with, all these cat videos, I wanted to upload those and make like a YouTube channel with millions and millions of views or whatever, you know. It's like, and then every time I see that cat video, I say, oh yeah, the cat video. So the best thing is write it down, make it an actual task. My life is organized on Trello, so I would then take those tasks, put them on Trello, and have them for later. So I won't forget them, but they are there, and I will not constantly get reminded and go, oh, there's something I need to do, something I need to do, something I need to do. Because that, once again, creates chaos in your brain, chaos in your mind, chaos in your heart and your soul, because it doesn't help, you know. If you don't make it an actual action item, a to-do on your list, you're not going to do it, you know. So that's the next tip. Put down a piece of paper, write down notes while you go through all that stuff, and really write down what you want to do. For example, I'm sure I will find some of the Word documents that I started writing books. And then every time I go, oh, yeah, that book. And then I start going the whole way through the idea for the book and the whole story and what I could do. And then the whole thing just disappears again because I get distracted. And then 5 years later, I see it again. So just write it down as a to-do. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to have a deadline. But whenever you want to, you have the spark of being creative, you know what you can do. You have a list of things that you can do. Also, if you just suddenly remember those cat videos, for example, then you don't have to go actually in and find those cat videos in the folders, but you can find your to-do that you wrote. What did I want to do with those cat videos? And if you have some more thoughts, write them down as notes in that to-do list. And then you can later pull it out and actually action it and do something with it. Right. Another reason why I wanted to talk to you about this right now is another fairly obvious one, but something we like to put off all the time as well, is tidying up our passwords, for example. I know everybody probably has one password, which would be very bad, or some variations of one password, or maybe even 3 different passwords. But that's probably the extent of it, right? And nowadays, and I'm not a data security specialist or any of like that, but I know that it's getting more and more important that we really, really make sure we have different passwords for everything. And there are really good tools nowadays to randomize the passwords, so that, you know, the tool actually randomizes it. It's in the system. You can just copy paste it. If you forget it, you go back into that system, take it out, and you can use it. So I started doing that as well. I actually started doing it, and then something happened. So it's almost like okay, you're just now doing it right, and you should have done it way earlier. So one thing that I do is every Sunday or every weekend I go through my finances and just check, because I mentioned it before, I'm shit with money. So I'm going to all my accounts, all my PayPal accounts, all my all my e-wallets, all my actual accounts, and just see if everything is alright, if there's any urgent fires that I should take care of, any payments that I didn't expect, and so on and so forth. And well, last weekend I actually noticed that there were, on one of my credit cards, there were 3 transactions that I did not do. So one was an order at Domino's Pizza, and another one was a taxi company, and then what looked like the tipping the taxi driver. And then there was another one, but because my credit card was maxed out, which I was lucky, was an Airbnb booking of something, but that got refunded because I just didn't have enough money on the account. But that was pretty scary, because there was some person in England, I think it was the London area, who somehow got hold of my credit card details and thought the best idea was to first order pizza. And then the second thing that I would assume it's a he did is take a taxi and tip him. and then probably seeing, okay, it was getting away with it, trying to book like some kind of Airbnb. And it's so my thinking is, this can't have been a mastermind criminal, because I would assume that it wouldn't be the first thing to do to order Domino's Pizza. And also, all these things, all these transactions that happened were all things that would point to the address of that person, or more detail of that person. So it can't have been like a mastermind kind of thing that happened there. So anyway, what I did is I called my credit card company, they blocked it, and this weekend I was super thrilled to see that I had got refunded all of those things that had disappeared. So I did not expect that, and I was very happy that this happened, obviously, that I got the money back. I also contacted Airbnb and let them know that there is some fraudster connected to that booking and so on. So I think I did everything I should have done. I even informed the police in London, but I didn't get a reply, so I don't know how much they care. But it was just a bit of a sign for me that the process I had already started with changing passwords. I should really continue doing that. So I made it now a habit every day. It's one of the to-dos for every day is to change a couple of passwords, because it takes a while, right? Because you go into a site, you change the password, you change it in the system. So it takes a while to do that. So at least if I do it like every day, like 2 or 3 passwords, then I consider my to-do for the day done, and then I do more on the next day. And the similar thing is with old accounts, because that is also a security and safety threat. Then if you have some old accounts from back in the days where you used some passwords, and now those sites are probably not being maintained as well anymore, and so on and so forth, it makes sense to really go through and check, like, what kind of accounts do I still have, and maybe delete them altogether, or change the password, or whatever is necessary. Actually start using it again and see if it has any value to you. But there's so many forgotten websites that we have used over the years and somehow created a login. Just think about all the hotel reward system websites, for example. It's for me, like all the flight companies and so on. But yeah, so I basically I'm using the software Keeper now. So that seems to be quite a popular solution for password management and safety things. I'm not sure if it's the best, but it's the one that I downloaded. And so they basically crawled through my whole system and gave me all the logins that I ever used on any kind of site. So pretty good. And that helps me now to do both of these tasks, right? It helps me to go into the passwords, change them in those websites that are still important to me, that I want to keep, And those that I feel like I don't want to keep anymore, I can just completely delete my account altogether. So, for example, I got like a like photo bucket. I haven't used that in probably 10 years. And I somehow got reminded of that. Then I went in there and I saw some old photos and so on. But I couldn't even get them to download because the whole subscription model had changed in the meantime. So I just decided to delete the whole thing, cancel my account, and then you're safe right there. So yeah, so I could just again, another tip: get yourself a password management program. Go for aim for the best or the second best or one of the top ones, not some cheap one that makes you a good offer, but go for the high quality ones. And yeah, start just every day changing a couple of passwords, tidying up a couple of your accounts that you don't want to use, and so have everything a bit more clear and up to date. Use, like what I started doing is I used color coding now. So inside the Keeper program, every website that I changed the password in, I made green, so I know, okay, I've done this already, and so on. So it's a really good way to every day make a little bit of progress, and become more safe and create more mental space, let's say. And yeah, so this thing of making it a habit, I just wanted to say as probably the next tip. I don't even know if I made it a tip already, but if you make it a habit every day, so make it a reoccurring to-do for yourself, to tidy up the password is one thing, upload some data onto the cloud, tidy up a folder on the cloud. You can add another item there, which is basically tidying up photos and videos on your phone or cameras, because this just builds up a lot as well, and that could be also apps, right? So if you want to tidy up your phone, once again, make it a habit every day. Just, it could be 5 minutes, right? Just look at it, see if there's any apps that you're not using anymore, just get rid of them, and go into the photos and videos and just start deleting all those that you really don't want to keep, and or start uploading the stuff consciously to that same file sharing folder that you put everything else, so that you have the pictures safe for whenever, and then delete them from the phone. Because don't we hate it all when we're at a concert, we want to take some pictures or videos, and then suddenly storage is full? That sucks. So yeah, so make it a habit. All these items, try and make it a habit. Write it down, make it daily habits. Go into your files, wherever they are, and try and upload them to the cloud, duplicate them onto the cloud. Make sure to make folders, organize the folders, delete pictures you don't want to, change passwords, get rid of accounts, web accounts that you don't want to use anymore, get rid of apps on your phone that you don't want to use anymore, and also tidy up pictures and videos that accumulate over the time, just to create more space, not just on your digital devices, but also in your head. So those are the tips for this, and it is super important to keep in mind that physical and digital abundance and chaos of items that you just keep holding and keep holding on to creates quite a bit of chaos in your brain as well. So all these exercises, all this kind of stuff of becoming a minimalist, it doesn't have to be as extreme as I am doing it with only owning 2 bags of stuff. It doesn't have to be that extreme. But going through, even if you have a house with cupboards and so on, going through those and every day making it a habit for 10 minutes to tidy that up is absolutely crucial for your mental stability. And it sounds probably a bit over the top, but I'm absolutely certain that this has a massive impact on why you sometimes feel stuck and you're not doing things, and you're holding back from creating, or even the tidying up itself, just like holding yourself back from doing it because you have so many other things in your head that you feel like you need to probably do instead of it. So the less physical and digital chaos you have around you, the less chaos you have in your head, and you can actually start doing things, creating things, and being more open for new experiences and new things. And they don't have to be physical, but experiences. Let's say experiences. be open for new experiences in your life because you created a space in your head and in your heart for that. Again, it probably sounds juju and over the top, but this is how I see it, and this is how I act and interact and make sure that I have my life organized and safe and under control. I think I will do a second version of this in hopefully like 2 weeks time maybe, and talk to you about my conclusion of my digital declutter. I hope that in about 2 weeks, or let's give it a month. Let's say in a month I hope that I'll be done with the decluttering and I can get back to you and talk to you about digital minimalism. Right, so that was it for today. I will try and do this more often and really record the podcast more timely. I did have a little bit of a backlog before that I used. Now we are basically on time. So this podcast I'm recording right now, what you're hearing right now, is going to go live tomorrow. So it feels nice to create a routine for myself for content creation. And so far so good, because I am here in Thailand and I'm very productive. This works quite well. I don't know how well I will be able to keep it up once the journey continues. But at the moment, my content creation publication looks something like this. On Mondays, there's a podcast going live. On Wednesdays, there's a vlog going live. On Fridays, there's a video of sorts going live. So it is, at the moment, I have story time videos where I take memories, so I can do that with the digital stuff as well, and I probably will. Digitalized items of memories that I had, like memorabilia items that I then talk through and tell the stories around it about. It's quite fun. The last one I recorded was about how I almost became a rock star, basically. So you find all that on YouTube. So it's obviously also called Nice and Sunny, and the podcast you know already, you're listening to that right now, but you can find it on iTunes and some other outlets for that. And you can always look up what I'm up to on a more timely basis if you follow on my social media channels. So if you go to Instagram, it's @niceandsunny. You can get me on Facebook, Nice and Sunny, and I'm not that active on Twitter, but I sometimes post something there as well. It's also @niceandsunny. So feel free to get in touch. You can always send an email as well, contact@niceandsunny.com, and tell me what you think about what I'm recording here. Tell me what you would like to know more about, any questions, any input, and I will make sure to reply to that in the following episodes. And yeah, I think that's it for today. I say goodbye from Koh Lanta in Thailand, and you will hear from me again very soon. Bye!